Welcome to another Spaces Aces devlog. Grind up some coffee, maybe grab a blanket, and get yourself all comfy. Today's log is going to involve more visual changes. In this one, I'm going to begin building the first level. For this, I have an idea for an asteroid mine, with little cargo ships flying back and forth and 3 big asteroids being bound close together for easier mining. I'll need buildings, and asteroids obviously, and I'm going to start by working on the asteroids. For the asteroids, I've made simple spheres and sculpted them into some more unique shapes in Blender. One of them, I started as a torus. I imagine this one has been mined so deep that they've turned it into a donut and built a base out of it. Once I have the asteroids, I need to find out what kind of texture they will need. To do so, I'm going to head into Substance Designer. My goal here is to create a good cratered surface. Designer is really good at taking all kinds of noise inputs and shapes and distributing them and converting them into tileable texture maps, including the ability to easily convert them into normal maps. At first I tried jumping in without any idea or reference of what I wanted and ended up with some iffy results. Then I looked at a tutorial for how to get good craters, and I liked some elements of the tutorial, but it didn't change height the way I wanted. By the end, even though I got that height effect in and liked my individual craters, the whole material was lacking. So I started from scratch again, and looked at some reference too. I created some cool crater shapes, overlaid different noises to increase the complexity, and then a low-scale Perlin noise to control some of the distribution. By the end, I had something I liked looking at. Maybe it's not permanent, but it's a good start at least. And now it's time to see it in Unity. With these asteroids, I don't want to have to UV map and texture them manually, mainly because they're just too big. If I tried to texture them traditionally, they would end up very pixelated. The solution to this would be to tile the textures on the asteroids. And my solution for that is to create a simple Tri-Planar material shader. In Unity URP, this is very easy thanks to Shader Graph. It's really as simple as identifying your textures, plugging them into a Tri-Planar node, and plugging that node into your output for that texture. Also plug an object position node into the Tri-Planar position input. Repeat this for normal maps, metallic, roughness, and any other maps you may want to include. Then I created a couple floats to control tiling and blending. I did go back and blend in a color property with my base color texture to allow for some touch-ups, and added the ability to adjust contrasts. Then I went back again to allow myself to increase or decrease metallic and roughness values, but these are all extras. Now I'm ready to put my asteroids in my level. I noticed some stretching on my asteroid textures, so I added a toggle to control whether or not we're using object position or world position to map the textures. The asteroids are now in. My hollowed asteroid is a bit dark on the inside, so I need to touch up my lighting in there. I know I want these glowing lights on the walls, so I'm going to add those in, along with a big area light to sort of add an ambient light to the whole inside. And with that, the asteroid is complete. Oh, and don't forget the reflection probe. Now my next big step is to use Polybrush to paint on some of my buildings. I'll texture these another time, but for now, I think it would be nice to get a sense of their scale. I actually modeled some of the buildings a while back. Now I need to make sure those pivots are correct. I'm setting the pivots in a way that I can control the part of the model that I'm connecting when I paint with Polybrush. I learned about whether or not I like Polybrush. I have some issues. I feel like I don't get very easy control of things like the rotation. I also really don't like that it converts all my models into Polybrush models. I have to convert them back. But it is good for laying things at the correct angle. I want to make some buildings that are fun to fly around. And I'm learning that I need some really tall shapes in there. For now, I'll just take some of my existing structure and put them together to make connecting pieces for taller structures. That's a lot more fun to fly through. I think it's starting to look really good. But for now, that's the end of my time for the week. This part of the process is fun, but placing stuff is also really tedious. It's nice to get a visual output, but it also takes a long time, and I have a lot more placing to do, so it's best I probably cut the video here. And thanks for watching that whole thing. Do the whole like and subscribe thing. I hope that you would if you actually enjoyed this. There's going to be more devlogs in the future, so if you like keeping up with the progress in the game, maybe get some inspiration for your own games. If you want any of that, like, subscribe, follow the Discords, or join the Discords, follow me on Twitter. I'm trying to get into the habit of sharing everything. Thanks for watching. See you next time.